Good. Can't complain. There's some signage. Make it one way, that's not a big deal.
Good.
How many of those do we have?
Three speakers.
If anyone wishes to speak, please sign in and bring the paperwork up to the clerk, Clerk Mahalik.
To stand.
It's not the best,
It hates me.
Here, like,
Let's get an agenda.
oh, shucks. I was asked that question today, I said, I don't know the answer.
Dude, were you talking, did anybody tell you about it? About the senior magazine?
No,
Where are you? The people who were on the cover that are here, they were told to come to school.
I don't know anything about it. There were two people. They're not even-
Show me where.
Come on.
Okay,
Find out.
there you go.
It'd be good to know.
Yeah, somebody, yeah, okay, Pat, there we go. Why are we asking, why? That's it.
All right.
This is the time here where that sun's glaring off of our domes.
Blinding for the audience.
That's right.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, so why do you guys have three between you?
Special.
I was gonna tell Joe, can I have one of those? Thank you. I do,
Hold on, I'm
just
here.
one. No, I don't need to.
How are you, Carol?
Good, I can't complain.
Yippee-ki-yay.
That was lovely. That was lovely.
You got to work on it. If you're going to do a snarl, you got to channel Clint Eastwood.
Margie was making fun of. Margie, what'd you do to get such heaping praise
Where
from
are
your
ya?
daughter?
Tell her to channel Clint Eastwood.
So what'd you do to get such heaping
I mean, if you're going to
praise from your
snarl, do
daughter?
a good one. Or Billy Idol or Clint Eastwood.
What? Stop!
It's a sense of
I love everybody. Yeah, I'll fill you in on it.
Did it work? Somebody want to get,
She's finishing up.
There's that bottle of wine.
I didn't take it as I didn't read the sarcasm.
You ready? Shall we? Should we go?
We can yell here for your audience.
say yes.
Call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Here.
Trustee Dadge.
Here.
Trustee Guerra. Trustee Ruzick.
Here.
Trustee Calandrello.
Here.
Trustee Carroll.
Here.
Mayor Pico.
Here.
Please rise for the pledge.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of July 10th, 2017 special meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees special meeting of July 10th, 2017.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Dadge.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Approval of July 17th. July 17th, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Dadge.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Abstain.
Trustee Guerra.
Abstain.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Approval of July 31st, 2017 regular meeting, or special meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Calandrello.
I move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees special meeting of July 31st, 2017.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
St. Michael's Church raffle license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll.
move to approve issuing a raffle license to St. Michael's Church to sell raffle tickets during their St. Michael's Fall Fest beginning Thursday, September 14th, 2017 through Sunday, September 17th, 2017.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Economic Development Commission appointment.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to confirm the appointment by President Peacock of Laura Murphy to the Economic Development Commission.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. I have a few swearing-ins to do tonight, and that's what we'll do now. Glenn Horton?
Oh,
Do we need a motion on this?
we do.
You don't need a motion for swearing in.
We moved on Glenn last.
All right, got it, okay, got it.
Yeah.
That's how it reads.
I think we
We did it before.
did it before, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just reading what's on the little booklet here.
The Village of Orland Park. In the counties of Cook and Will aforesaid. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Illinois. And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office. Of Economic Development Advisory Board. To the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thanks for helping.
Yep.
Having been appointed to the office of the Veterans Commission in the Village of Orland Park. In the counties of Cook and Will aforesaid. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Illinois. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office. Of the Veterans Commission to the best of my ability. Thank you very much. The works of the village and handle our veterans affairs always enhances this stuff out for our new veteran commission members. So a hat and then also a military challenge coin, which anyone from the military understands. Thank you very much. And I want to thank all three of you for stepping up to serve on our commissions. You know, these are volunteer positions, and your help helps the village
immensely with both the Veterans Commission and the Economic Development Advisory Board, so thank you very much.
Consent agenda?
Pre-scheduled visitors first.
You got to schedule.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
So we have pre-scheduled visitors. The Orland Park Lions Club has a presentation to give us.
Good evening. I'm Lion Stephen Anton from the Orland Park Lions Club, and I'm here to thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, village trustees. Thank you to staff. Thank you to police. Thank you to fire. And thank you for anyone that helped us to have another successful Orland Days this year. And I would only like to say this, that we will be back to see you in the spring, and we would only hope to draw the crowds that I saw here last night. Congratulations on a job well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thanks for putting on the Orland Days. We've been doing it for at least 47 years that I can remember.
Thank you very much, sir.
Consent agenda?
So the consent agenda, item A, 2017 payroll, July 14th and July 28th, 2017 approval. Item B, accounts payable, July 18th, 2017 to August 7th, 2017 approval. Consulting services approval, item C. Item D, Cars and More special use permit for motor vehicle services in general business district ordinance. And item E, Payless Community Hospital South Campus redevelopment full landscape plan approval.
Chairman,
Trustee Ruzick.
I move to approve items A through E of the consent agenda.
Second.
Is there any wish to take anything off of the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll?
this is a question, I guess, for you or maybe for the village attorney. I thought item C was already voted on at the end of our meeting last. Was it not already voted on? I thought we did vote on that already.
We did vote on it, but the decision was made that we had to come out publicly and vote on it again.
Gotcha. Okay.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Additional water main relocation, engineering, 179th Street and Southwest Highway.
Second. Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll.
I move to approve accepting the proposal from H.R. Green of New Lenox, Illinois for the additional water main relocation engineering, 179th Street and Southwest Highway, in an amount not to exceed $6,770.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman? This just went directly from committee to board tonight. This was a nice, one of the rare times that a delay from IDOT works to our advantage. So by the IDOT delaying that intersection repair or reconstruction, we're going to save about $60,000 by now coordinating our engineering and the water main with their intersection work.
Any other questions or comments? The motion has been put, and call a roll.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Sorry.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Mayor
Bless you.
Pico?
Thank you.
Aye.
2017 Orland Park Theater Troupe Dinner Show, payment approval to Orland Chateau for the July 23rd and 30th, 2017 performance.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra.
I move to approve payment to Orland Chateau for the Orland Park Theater Dinner Show, Broadway, Memory Lane, in the amount of $10,842.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? The question is put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Approval request for payment of the special event general liability and terrorism insurance for the Taste of Orland, 2017 to August 4th, 5th, 6th, 2017, provided by Scottsdale Insurance Company.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra.
I move to approve the payment to the Horton Group for general liability and terrorism insurance coverage for the Taste of Orland Park 2017, provided by the Scottsdale Insurance Company, in the amount of $5,538.
Second.
The question has been moved and seconded. Any comments?
Only by
Trustee
way of
Garrett.
explanation. This year was a little different that we didn't have a meeting immediately before the taste, so this had to follow after. Obviously, it's already been in place.
Okay. Any other questions? The question has been put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Amend Title 7, Chapter 4, number of Class A liquor license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Dodge.
do you have an ordinance number, please?
5206.
Move to pass ordinance 5206, entitled ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 4 of the Orland Park Municipal Code regarding the available number of Class A liquor licenses issued by the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will County, Illinois.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? The question is put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Amend Title 7, Chapter 4, number of Class C liquor license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Calandrello.
I move to pass ordinance number 1507, entitled an ordinance amending Title 7.
Can you,
Cha-
Dan?
It's 5-2.
5207?
52. Thank you. I'll do that over again. I move to pass ordinance number, what's number again, John?
5-2.
5207.
I'm so proud I wrote it down, but I wrote it on backwards. 5207, entitled an ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 4 of the Orland Park Municipal Code regarding the available number of Class C liquor licenses issued by the Village of Orland Park, Cook, and Will Counties, Illinois.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Public participation at meetings of the village board or any of its committees, commissions, or advisory boards ordinance.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Ruzick.
could I have an ordinance number, clerk?
5208.
I move to pass ordinance number 5208, entitled an ordinance amending Title 1, Chapter 5, Section 8 of the Orland Park Village Code regarding public participation at meetings of the village board and any of its committees, commissions, and advisory boards.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Dodge.
question for the board. Under section, I guess it would be the section 2, number 3, where speakers must identify themselves. Earlier, we typically have had folks that fill out the forms, provide full name and address, and then oftentimes in part of the conversation, we have folks just come up to the microphone, ebb and flow of the conversation. I wouldn't mind, or I'd suggest that maybe that reads, speakers must identify themselves and their topics before speaking, including name and address. Because that would then make it consistent with the forms that we ask people to fill out. Well, we ask it on the forms. We ask it in this ordinance if people register as a speaker prior.
Attorney Fricker.
The Attorney General has relatively recently ruled you cannot compel people to identify themselves or to give their address.
So does that apply to the state legislature where you have to fill out a form to
No.
identify yourself to speak?
Unfortunately, it does not.
Oh, okay.
It
So
doesn't
once
apply
again,
to
in the
them.
great state of Illinois, we have to act under different rules the state legislature
Exactly.
does.
So you
All
can
right.
request it, you can ask them to identify themselves, and that's what the board has typically done, but you may not mandate that they give you their name and address before allowing them to speak.
Okay, got it. So, Mr. Chairman, if I may. So then, we're asking folks to fill out a form which requires their name, address, and topics, or are you saying that that's not mandatory? Following rules shall govern speakers who address the board, item 1 under section 2. I just want to make it consistent. Now, my goal is, if people should say everything they want, but if we're going to go to a new policies, new set of rules.
Should we amend this to, I would entertain a motion to amend this to say request that speakers identify themselves and address.
Name and address? Yeah, sure. That would work.
Fine.
I'll amend my second if Carol will amend the motion, if we can
I'll
do it
amend
that
the
way.
motion to make that change to paragraph 1, that the speakers be asked to provide the names and addresses.
Okay, thank you.
So the amendment has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Sure.
So are you want the committee level to also do what the board level does, where they have to fill out the form to speak?
Probably wouldn't be a bad
Because at
idea.
committee, we usually don't.
So the request here is that they fill out the paperwork, but they also, if they don't fill out the paperwork, that they identify themselves, but it's only a request because we can't mandate it. And the amendment under consideration right now is to change it from must to request.
Mr. Chairman, I mean, Trustee Fenton, I wouldn't mind if we did it at the committee levels as well.
Okay, I mean,
Make
I
it
just want
consistent
to make
across the
sure,
board,
so
right?
we're on the same page, that at committee level, where we've never had the
Sure.
piece of paper to sign in, if we're all doing it that way, that's fine. I just want to make sure so it's different than what we've been doing.
Fine with me.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra?
this may also translate to our planning commission, where people sign in to speak, just so we're consistent across the board.
And again, so we're requesting them to sign in, but if they do step up to the microphone, they're still allowed to speak.
That works. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? So the amendment that is put forth is to change must identify themselves to request them to identify themselves. Call the roll.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calangelo.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll. Aye. Mayor Pico.
Aye. Okay, on the main motion, any other questions or comments? So I do have a comment on this. So historically, there hasn't been an actual policy for residents to address the board, and this policy will actually give some guidelines to residents. As discussed here previously, it won't stop anyone from coming up and speaking. I encourage, as you've noticed since I've been here, for people to come up and speak, but it will limit everyone to 3 minutes. Additionally, there's just some guidelines in there as far as how to conduct yourself in the public forum, not yell from the back of the room, come up and address people from the microphone, all things that would just are polite and the appropriate thing to do in the boardroom. With that, go ahead and call the roll.
We already did.
We already did it.
No, we called the roll for the amendment.
On the amendment.
Oh, for the amendment, okay, gotcha.
So we need the main motion.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton. Aye. Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calangelo.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Ad hoc committee to review Orland Park's commissions and board structure.
And this is discussion only, and I apologize because there were some clerical issues between multiple offices that the ball got dropped on this and did not get put into the agenda like it should have been for vote tonight. But we did include it for discussion since the whole board is here this time for the first time in a while with the vacations that we've had. Are there any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Dodge.
Generally fine with this. I think it's, as I think we've all talked at various stages, it's something we should do broadly, to take a look at the advisory boards and commissions and see if we can't do a better job. I don't know if we want to continue to call it and board structure, if it's a commission look. So it's a minor point, but the spirit and essence of what we're doing, I agree with.
Yeah, I think it's commission and board structure because some of them are advisory boards. That's fine. Trustee Fenton.
When this comes back for board approval, I would like to see it in 2 motions, one for the ad hoc committee and one for the members of the committee.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, do we need to, Ken, is this just discussion only? Do we need to set a date certain to bring it back? How does that work?
So this is discussion only because we can't take any action tonight.
Okay, just, it'll come back?
And at the next board meeting, we'll have to make an amendment to split the motion into 2 because the motion is active. Any other comments or questions? So the only other comment I have for this is I was actually doing a little bit more research on it, and we do have 19 commissions altogether. And we have some people didn't even know existed, like the Electrical Commission, that actually does meet, though. The Economic Development Advisory Board, like we talked about, hadn't met in 5 years, and the Community Relations Commission, we're not sure when it last met. And then the Civic Center Commission, which is, Pat, is something you're involved with, we've been unable to find what their actual charter is. So anyways, those are the types of things we just need to look at and clean up with this committee, which I think will be very helpful. Anything else? Okay. Village manager's report. Village manager's report? Nothing? Board comments? Oh, sorry. We do have some people here who have signed up to speak. So John McKinnon?
Good evening, Board. Thanks for the privilege of speaking here this evening, and I'm happy to give my name and address and all that pertinent information. Happy to do it. I wanted to make comments on a few things. I'll go quickly. First of all, I wanted to comment on some major construction projects that have been tying up the village for years and years. And I've been familiar with these projects, but I looked at Orland Park's website to get some pertinent and timely information, found none. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was 159th Street. These are IDOT projects, as everybody knows. 159th Street from Will Cook to Ravinia. I was looking at the website, and there's links to IDOT, and the only thing I found is an update posted December 1st, 2015. Now, that's 2 full years now, and that project, I'll bet anybody $1 that it's going to go through 2019, regardless of what anybody says. If we're lucky, it'll be finished by 2019. And I've avoided 159th Street myself personally. I take 143rd to get to 355. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. There's no rhyme or reason to any of the traffic control or any of the work that's going on there. So I think it would be helpful if somebody could pay attention to what's going on 159th Street. I mean, that's just beginning, even though we're the second or third year in. The other major project is still going during its 5th season. That's the LaGrange Road widening project. And again, this is directly off of the website, which is linked to IDOT, and project start date, summer 2013. Project end date, summer 2015, 2 years ago. And we'll be lucky if it finishes this year. So I think that nobody's watching the store there. I think somebody should pay attention to what's going on there. At least get the website updated so that there's pertinent information and timely. LaGrange Road, I think everybody knows, it's been a nightmare for 4 years already, and there's no end in sight. One other thing related to the LaGrange Road widening is the temporary storage area behind Petey's on 159th and LaGrange Road. It's an eyesore. There's mountains of construction debris there, and who knows when it's going to be cleaned up. Now, according to what I just read, the project was supposed to be finished 2 years ago, so why is that construction demolition debris still there? You know why? Because somebody's selling it. I think if everybody's aware of that, that's being stockpiled and it's being sold. I hope the village is getting a piece of that action, because according to what I read on the website, they were approved to stockpile broken concrete to be crushed and reused in the project. So if that's still going to be used in the project, something's wrong. They can stockpile milled asphalt to be processed and then reused in the project. I think there's no more concrete work to be done, so somebody's selling it. And if that's been approved, great. I hope there's been a license for that, and again, that we're getting a piece of that action because somebody's making money on that. The last thing I just wanted to touch on, make a couple of comments about since there's a lag between the meeting and the meeting minutes, and especially during the summer here, I guess, so I'm maybe a little behind, but I wanted to comment on June 19th minutes, which were approved, I think, at a July 3rd meeting. I'm not exactly sure, but again, the minutes, I understand there's a lag, so I just wanted to comment on the minutes. There's, if I find it. Well, there was a little bit of housekeeping that I wanted to comment on. I can't, here it is, sorry. Yeah, they were approved July 3rd. On page 19, it starts with the resolution supporting an increase in the Illinois minimum wage, and then continues on page 20. On page 20, paragraph 6, the first line, it says, President Peacock continued reading statics that raise minimum wage, blah, blah, blah. I think attention to detail is very important. I'm assuming that should be statistics. In paragraph 8, the last line is everything that was just cited by the mayor. The word is S-I-T-E-D. I think the correct word is C-I-T-E-D. I'm a stickler for details. I think it's very important to pay attention to detail. If words are misspelled, what else is wrong in the minutes? So I just wanted to make that comment. Now, as far as the content of that meeting, it had to do with minimum wage in the state of Illinois, and I think what I'm calling mandated, resolution supporting mandated paid sick leave for Illinois employees. I just wanted to express my support of what Mayor Peacock had said at that meeting, according to these minutes, that in general, the comment that this is government overreach applies to both the minimum wage and forced mandated sick leave, paid sick leave for Illinois employees. I don't think those are any topics that the board should be considering. They're way beyond the reach of this board, and I just wanted to make that statement supporting the fact that there's a lot of people that would agree with the statements that the mayor made. And one last thing, I think it was Trustee Carroll who made a statement that exactly the opposite of what the mayor had stated as far as minimum wage is concerned, as far as that being a good benefit. Well, there's many reports on both sides of pro and con, minimum wage raising or not raising it. And just recently, I found there's many articles. I found one by Nate Silver's left-leaning organization, 538, which recently, he says, Seattle's minimum wage hike may have gone too far. So for every article or opinion that supports raising the minimum wage, there's an equal number, or probably even more, that would say, let's not raise the minimum wage. That's all I got. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. So let me address the construction projects with IDOT. So we're well aware of these issues regarding IDOT, and there is actually a meeting next week with IDOT here in town, specifically addressing 159th as the biggest issue, because it was supposed to be done last year, and the latest updates have it for 2019, and we're trying to get that expedited. We have invited the mayors of all of the neighboring towns that are affected by this, including Orland Hills and Tinley Park, which are downstream of 159th, as well as state reps, state senators. So we have, from an elected official standpoint, everyone we can get coming to the meeting with IDOT on 150, and we're actually having the meeting on 159th Street. So after that time, we will make sure that we update the website to reflect all the updates that we've gotten from both for 159th. We're also going to ask them about LaGrange Road as well, and we'll make sure we ask them about the stockpile. We have a few other things on that agenda as well, but those are the two big items. Village Manager Lamargo, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, the stockpile at PDs, they are using some of that for the backfill for 159th Street project. So, and we are working with them. And Mr. Mayor, as you're aware, and the board's aware, we do have weekly meetings with IDOT and Schaumburg to get updates, but yes, we'll make sure that the website is updated.
Okay. And then the other thing on the LaGrange Road project, my understanding is we have the landscaping is what's being done, which a lot of that's been done. There's also backfill along the side and the sidewalks, which we've addressed internally. And the decision here was to start filling it ourselves. And since there is some truing up of funds at the end, we'll take that off of what we owe. So to make sure that project does get completed this year.
Mr. Mayor?
Are there any other comments?
I just had a question, Joe. We were giving updates on LaGrange Road regularly.
That's correct.
But
I mean-
were we posting those on the website? I mean, I know I was getting them because I'm a member
Right.
of the chamber. I think the
Right.
chamber was sending out those notices.
We were. Now that the project's done, we're not giving the updates like
Okay.
we were before. Mostly it was because of lane closures that we
Got
were
it.
giving those
Okay.
updates for.
Great, thanks.
Well, yeah, I think next week we can do an update on both of the projects, timeline and all that, and that should help. And we should probably keep that updated more frequently. I did not realize it wasn't.
Well, it is. It does link to IDOT's webpage, that they have a webpage specifically for Orland Park for their road projects. And 159th Street, it does state that it's going to be completed in spring of 2019. So they did update that.
Okay.
On that.
Any other comments or questions? Pat Franz?
Hello. I am Pat Franz. I've been in Orland Park for 56 years. Paid my water bill on time the whole time. It wasn't until my son moved in next door that I realized the discrepancies in the water bills. The front of my house is 66 feet. The front of his house is 66 feet. It's 125 deep on both sides. My storm sewer bill was $25 and his was $9. So I came to the village and I asked, why is that so? And they told me, your water bill is prorated off of your usage. I want to know why they prorate the storm sewer off of my usage, seeing as my usage goes into the sanitary sewer. We live in a subdivision where there's only 66 frontage. A lot of the I think the new ordinance, you can't even build a house in Orland without it being 80-foot frontage. And I don't understand how storm sewer next door to me could be almost 1/3 the price of my storm sewer. So that's why I'm here, because I think it's a real inequitable way of charging the citizens of Orland Park for storm sewer. The second reason I'm here is because I've lived in Orland for 50 years, I think I should be able to vote in Orland Park and not in Orland Hills. We have some new people who live down the street on 153rd Street, which makes more people living there. We were told because of this little niche that we're in there that there wasn't enough people voting from our area. So that's why we go to Orland Hills to vote. So I did talk to the clerk, not this clerk, but the county clerk, and he basically told me there was nothing he could do. So I'm coming to the board because I bet not one of you have to go to Orland Hills to vote for anybody in Orland Park. So I figure with as many voices as we have sitting in front of me, that maybe we could get the lines changed again so that we can once again vote in the town where we live. And that's why I'm here, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your comments and your questions. Any comments?
I'll just,
No, I just have one comment.
Okay.
Probably on the
Trustee
sideline
Guerra?
here. What many in this room may not know is Pat Franz was our very first recreation director when we first started a recreation program. So thanks, Pat. You left a great legacy.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to do. Now you guys have to help me, being as I've given Orland a wonderful start. You finish it out.
Chairman.
Trustee Carroll.
I'll just point out, Ms. Franz, that we've had difficulty with the county clerk's office, not the village clerks, who are wonderful, by the way. But it's completely within their purview. They've opened and closed and relocated polling places multiple times over the years. We've had conversations with them. We'll continue to try, but it's completely within their wheelhouse to decide where those go.
Well, not only that, when you go to Orland Hills, you have to go down the basement which is really inaccessible for people that have problems getting up and downstairs.
Well, that's a separate issue. They do have to give you accessibility if you can't get into that polling place, but as far as the location, we've got very little to do with, actually, nothing to do with it.
Big voice in the county clerk.
I don't know about that.
Clerk Mahalik?
Ms. France, we will reach out to the, Ms. France,
Pat?
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 Ms. France, we will reach out to the county clerk and we'll follow up with you with what we come up with. No, we'll reach out. The village clerk's office will reach out to them and we'll let you know where we get with it.
Mr. Chairman, just for the
Trustee
record, I have to go to Palos Park to vote, so I don't get to vote in Orland Park. I can come in here voluntarily and vote at the township, but I don't vote in Orland Park, so.
And regarding any other questions or comments? So regarding the water billing, that's a pretty good question. It seems like a silly way to prorate storm sewer. And so does anyone here have the answer to that, or can we go get the answer to that?
Well, that's why I was giving Pat my cards, so she could give me a call, so I get a little bit more detail on what she's referring to, so I could look into that. But I know that we do have the different tiers of water based on your water usage, which, the less you use, the lower the rate.
But I think
again,
the point is a valid one. For
so,
storm sewer, it really is
It's an old
irrelevant how
policy.
much you
It's
use.
a policy that's been around for a while.
Yeah, I would question though, because her usage is expected to be lower than a family living next door, even though it's her son, two-piece. So it might be in reverse over there. We need to look into it.
Right.
Trustee Carroll.
I do know, and I'll defer.
Excuse me, the program is right from our water usage. For what we use for water, the prorate number that they gave us at the rate big bill comes out to be the right number. The wrong part is the fact that they're giving you a prorated amount of money on your storm sewer for what you use that goes down your sanitary sewer. In the wintertime, if you went off of it, you wouldn't be sprinkling your grass, you wouldn't be taking extra showers because it's warm outside, and you wouldn't be penalizing a large family because you have more people that are taking baths and showers. That's the inequitable part of the whole thing. So maybe they should pick a month that they would be using for storm sewer charge and go off of that usage rather than the usage of every month.
Well, it's certainly something we can look at. Trustee Carroll.
I was going to mention, I'll defer to Trustee Ruza because it's actually, she's the chair of the committee, but we have reviewed several different options for stormwater billing. We've looked at what other municipalities do. A lot of them do it based on square footage of the property. A lot of them do it based on how much of the property is permeable. Every scenario we looked at, other than prorating the storm water to the water usage, would have cost residences a lot more money. And so that's, I know last time we looked at it as recently as last fall, that was the most equitable way compared to the other formulas we could use that would have resulted in a much more disproportionately high stormwater usage for residences.
That's correct.
Any other comments? So I will follow up with the village manager on this because this is a way we've always done it, or we've done it this way for a long time, isn't necessarily the right answer, and it does seem a little strange that we would be prorating the storm sewage based on water usage. I could understand sanitary. So we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like, and then village manager Lamargo or myself will get back to you. As long as you promise not to tell any stories about me when I first came home and all that kind of stuff. Anything else? Madeline Flaherty? You should just take a seat in the front row.
My name on it. A little sidebar to the gentleman that talked about 159th. I don't know if you're aware, the timing is really off on 159th, making a left on Will Cook. It literally lasts about 2 to 3 seconds, and then it goes. But
We're
anyway,
aware.
I digress. Anyway, I just wanted to thank everyone because 2 weeks ago we discussed the fact that there was some issues at the mall for security. Within a couple days, unsolicited comments were made to me like, hey, have you noticed that there's more police around the mall? There's more mall security around the mall. So I don't go in the mall, so I can't attest to that. But I want to say thank you because there's definitely a greater presence of security around the mall. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and as we talked about when you made those comments before, there were things that we were already doing, so we actually didn't do anything different. But they were already in the works because we were addressing the issues that we were aware of, and it's something that we do on a regular basis. And I think Trustee Calandrello could add to this. We are regularly looking at what our procedures are at the mall and mixing and changing to try and be more effective there. So it's something that the police department does a very good job of doing.
Just to echo off the mayor's comments, we regularly look at different security procedures, stuff like, and there was plans in place when you came up to the board about extra security cameras, extra personnel. So sometimes we don't tell the bad guys what we're doing, but it's always on my mind, and I'm sure it's on everyone's board's mind. So safety is now one priority, I think, for the whole board, including myself. So, well, I appreciate you coming and saying thank you, because sometimes we don't get the recognition. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, with that, board comments. Trustee, sorry. Mr. McMillan.
I think we should definitely get this guy's name and address.
I need a cup of coffee.
In case we don't see him next week on Channel 4. I'd like to get the timer going.
We just passed a minute rule, just so that you know, Mr. McMillan.
It's very short. I just wanted to come in and, I'm sorry I was running a little late. So I didn't sign in, so you didn't have the name. But I wanted to come by. I've heard there's a talk about the commissions and what they do. And being on a commission for more than 10 years myself, I think there's a lot of value in the commissions that have been appointed. Just think that they could be given a little more emphasis and upgraded. As an example, I've been on the Recreation Advisory Board Committee for over 10 years. We've done some good things, not in the very recent past, but about 7 years ago, there was a real problem here, and I think Ed Schussler thought he was going to get attacked by the audience because we were going to start charging for the fields to do the allocation for the football fields. So he kicked it when there was an uprising. He kicked it back to the Recreation Advisory Board to hold public hearings, which we did, and to come up with, we worked in conjunction with the village manager to come up with a schedule of charges and allocation, and to this day, that program is still in place, and that was done through a commission through the Recreation Advisory Board. We need to push the board sometimes a little bit more, because what we just went through, where we were trying to get the vote for more field, or to do the upgraded fields, that type of thing, the Recreation Advisory Board could help out with more. And they also could help out I think what came out when we were looking at that was that we really had kind of let our baseball fields and our football field kind of almost in disrepair, not where they should be. So you put the commission, push the commission to be somewhat of your eyes and ears, not just to work in conjunction with your staff. So I think there's a lot of things that can be done in the future with the commissions, but of course I'm speaking more of the Recreation Advisory Board because I'm on it. But there's definitely there's a lot of people in the village who are there every day, hands-on, that could really be of a lot of assistance. So I just wanted to come in and talk about that. I don't know that you're at the point where you're making the changes yet, but I think it's something to consider. I just wanted to bring that from the Recreation Advisory standpoint. So.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name's Virginia Williams. The address is 8114 Bobolink Road, Orland Park. The reason I'm up tonight is because I was told that it is up to Orland Park's construction to fix my apron on my driveway as I'm going out into the street. It's probably dropped, I'm going to say 3 inches. And when I'm carrying something in the car, like eggs, it makes a difference going over that curb. So I want somebody to come out or whatever. Also, I had the well, it wasn't the electric company. I think it was Mead putting markers in my backyard to the transformer where my neighbor is at, which is fine. But he proceeds to tell me that that's going to stay there for probably about 2 weeks. I said, that can't happen. I said, I've got a party here next Sunday, and the following week I've got people coming in and we're having another party. I says, I'll use my backyard. And he tells me that I can't touch those flags on my property or I will get arrested. I'd like to know what is the professional way of handling this, because I'm being inconvenienced. If it was something I could cancel, or if it was serious that they had to do this, I could understand this. They put a sticker on my door one night and they were out the next morning. And all this erupted. I need to know what I need to do to handle this. And also, I also want to thank everybody for getting at the police department, because I saw tickets being written on 151st Street. Thank you for making my street safe.
Thank you for your comments.
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Carroll.
Ms. Williams, if you, Mr. Lamargo's giving you his card. I'll follow up, I'll get the address. I heard Bobbling put in here the numbers. I'll follow up with Mr. Lamargo on the apron. As far as the area in the back of your house, most people do have a public utility and drainage easement towards the back. That's probably what that was, and if they're doing work there, they're entitled to keep those.
It's not on the easement, sir.
Okay, I'll follow up with it in either event.
The comment.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Dodge.
I would just tell her how often those flags tend to disappear in people's backyards.
Well, that's
They
what I was
just,
afraid
they just
of.
randomly disappear.
No, don't be afraid of it.
No,
I've heard stories. I've never randomly made these
I
flags
told him, I
disappear.
said, my landscapers are gonna come. I said, what are they supposed to do? He said, they better not touch them.
Then the landscaper, they might randomly disappear because of the landscaper. Who knows?
Landscapers never mow
Just
over
saying.
those and never remove them.
No, they get into those big mowers, they rip them down all the time.
So regarding the Julie locates in your backyard, the reason they do that is in case someone is digging, if someone's planning on digging, they don't hit those electrical lines and someone doesn't get hurt. What those reasons are, we don't know off the top of our heads, but if there was a locate, then Orland Park was certainly notified, and we can look up your address, find out what it is, and we can find out what it's for. So,
If it was
so
easement, I
Mr.
would've-
Lamargo can get back to you on
I would have
that.
been fine with it, but I have two flags are probably about 6 inches from my patio. So I don't know if they've got wires there. I'm not having any
You
trouble.
didn't
with
call
mine
us to do
because
patio
go
work
on
for you, did you?
down. Thank you.
Big breeze. Big breeze.
Any other comments?
About the flags.
Sure.
Just quickly, it's the contractor's responsibility, if he's digging there, whether the flags are there, he can't dig if the flags are not there. So if they disappear, if the flags are gone, the contractor's responsible. He can't dig or he can't do anything if the utilities aren't marked. It's his responsibility. So if the flags disappear, they disappear.
And they won't dig in your yard.
Put flags in that next week.
Just 2 items, real quick. The first one is...
Name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Andy Baraki. The first one is the gentleman that was just up here, when he talked about 159th. Last week, I went and took my car in for brakes, and they found 2 nails in my tires. 2 tires had to be fixed. So I don't know if that goes to IDOT or who it goes to, but, that was really upsetting. That was number 1. But number 2, most importantly, is thank you to Mr. Carroll and to Joe for 2 neighbors have had problems with their sidewalks, one for over a year and the other one since the beginning of the year. Both items were addressed and taken care of, and that's the way it should have been with whoever is in charge of doing this, without having to go through trustees or assistant managers or the mayor. So I don't know who's dropping the ball, but when citizens call to have very dangerous sidewalks fixed, I think that should be addressed instead of having to have, somebody else like the trustees or the mayors get involved. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Trustee Dodge, something to add there?
Yeah, the reason, we've had conversations as a board, and in this upcoming budget cycle, we're putting more money into technology so that whether you choose to use this and take a picture and show us a broken sidewalk or a broken swing in a park, it will then go instantly into a work order management system so that Public Works is notified it right away without, as you say, waiting, hoping, call up the village hall and it goes into the atmosphere and nobody calls you back. So we're going to fix that, and it's going to be technology enabled. And one of the other things, a special feature that we've designed, is to make sure that, for example, Joe Lamargo gets a report every week about all the open tickets from his department heads, and then we get open ticket reports on Joe so that we can make sure that everybody's doing their job. That's one of the things that we're after here, is to make sure that we tighten things up. Work in progress. And we'll get it done faster than IDOT did LaGrange.
And when in doubt, 1-800-JIM-DODGE.
Yeah, there you go.
Any other comments? Okay, board comments. Trustee Fenton.
I just want to thank staff for a great Taste of Orland. They did a fantastic job. Everything went really well, and it was a great event, and it takes a lot of staff work that goes into that, and just want to make sure everybody continues to go over to the market in the park. And to make you feel better, I had both of my back tires had nails in them.
Trustee Calendro.
Just ditto on everything that Kathy just said. Don't need to repeat how good of a job our staff does in Taste of Orland. Weather worked out. Glad I said my rosary before, and we're all good. So good job by staff, and also kudos on the market at the park. I think that's great. And I always go there, and that's my wife's favorite event, so I'm there every week now. So.
And you have 2 nails in your tires too?
I don't have 2 nails, not yet.
Trustee Ruzick.
Just, again, thanks to staff. They did an excellent job at Taste of Orland Park, as they always do. Thanks.
Trustee Guerra.
I would, of course, say the same thing. Taste of Orland was probably our best yet for the 14th annual. Our staff was incredible, and I'm going to nominate all of them for ABC Awards. I want to also add that the Baseball for All booth did really well this weekend. They're getting really recognized and a lot of support from the community, so that's good. It's a 15-year-old boy from Marist who's raising funds to build a handicap-accessible softball field. So we'll provide the property, and with parking already in existence, so it can really get going as soon as the funds come in. And the other thing I want to mention one more time, our swimming pool had another surprise inspection and got a 5-star rating once again from StarGuard. So it's the safe, clean place to be. If only the weather would cooperate a little more.
Trustee Carroll.
Again, kudos to staff, but I would like to also congratulate Village Clerk Mahalik and his committee of volunteers for putting on the 2nd annual Crosstown Classic charitable softball game, pitting the East residents versus the West residents. It went off without a hitch, well, except for Mr. McMillan calling it the Gridiron Golf Classic.
Yeah.
But other than that, it went off without a hitch, and John, you and your committee did a fabulous job. It's only in its 2nd year, and it's really turning into a nice community event.
Trustee Dodge.
Just, a couple of comments. I mean, I was not at Taste this year. I was out east seeing some family, but again, kudos to staff. I heard a lot of good things from a lot of different people. And I was really pleased to see some residents send us some comments about ideas they had for improving it that we could take a look at. So I appreciate the fact people are getting more comfortable with sending ideas and comments in. So we'll take a look at those things. So it was good.
Great. Well, I have a few comments. So one, I got a nice email from a 31-year resident that had about 3 or 4 issues with complaints across 3 or 4 different departments, and they were all taken care of within a week. So Public Works, Police, Parks and Rec, so thank you very much for that. Additionally, the wooden paddle said this is the best event that they've ever participated in from a booth perspective for the taste. So they were very, and this is before the taste even started. So this was just how everything was handled beforehand. So kudos to Nancy Flores and her staff for all that hard work. And then a really cool letter here from the police about the police. They actually saved a man's life by showing up and providing CPR before the fire department could get there. And so his wife of 47 years sent us a letter thanking them, because if they hadn't gotten there, he would not have survived. So great job from the police just before July 4th. So, and then also I'd like to echo that the taste was great. I really appreciate Nancy Flores and Ray Piatone and the Public Works guys and all the people that were working overtime, some of them until 3 o'clock this afternoon since last night to take everything down, so working extremely hard. Also to Clerk Mahalik for the softball event and getting to play the hot corner for about 4 hours, so it was pretty busy. So it was a great event, and the weather was perfect, and hopefully we get more of that weather in the future. Any other comments? Entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton?
make a motion to go into closed session, executive session for A, approval of minutes, B, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific village employees, C, purchase or lease of real property for the use of the village.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Caldarello?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
I'll double check, but 99% sure.